Hi guys, welcome back to the Painscreek Killings, or welcome to my channel if you're new. My name is Vivi, and we're in Trisha's room at the hospital, and we found a diary which seemed to belong to Dorothy for some reason and not Trisha. Yesterday, upon hearing that Scott was being apprehended for the murder of Vivian, Trisha collapsed. The hospital called this morning to inform us that it's just a nervous breakdown. They suggested that she should stay in the hospital for at least a few days. Charles has asked for me to take care of Trisha. It rained today. Trisha hates the rain. She stayed in bed, tucked away under the blanket the whole time. Sometimes she would say Scott's name out loud, then cry herself to sleep. It pains me to see her like that. Charles visits Trisha almost every day. Hang on. We never ever found a visit log for this. Today he was quieter than usual. All of a sudden he said that Vivian had been seeing another guy, apparently a banker, for more than a year, and asked if Vivian ever talked to me about it. I said I didn't know anything about it, but was sure that Vivian would never do such a thing. Then I realized that Trisha was awake. I'm not sure if she heard our conversation. Sheriff Howard came today. He asked me if I remember seeing anything suspicious the night Vivian died. I've already told him everything I know. It's frustrating to be asked over and over the things that I want to forget. Before he left, I asked if Scott could really be the killer. He said he's wondering the same thing. If Scott was not the killer, then who killed Vivian? And seriously though, would you really get an honest answer from, well, he's a sheriff. He's not freaking FBI, so he might have been honest with people he knew well. Derek came to see Trisha. I asked how he's doing. He said that the medical expenses for Wanda were more than he expected. Even with Charles's help, he still ended up using most of his savings and is now trying to get a second job. Then he asked me if there is a future for him. Traveling with Charles made him see the ugly sides of the world. His mom is hospitalized for terminal cancer, and seeing Trisha like this pains him. He then leaned towards Trisha and whispered, "Would it be better if Scott is gone? Would you have chosen me?" I wish I heard wrongly. Okay, so now we are offered another motive from another person. We know he was jealous. We know he was in love with Trisha. But would he kill Scott over that? I mean, after Trisha's mother was killed, what would be the point of that? He really doesn't think Scott killed Vivian, does he? Right, so we're back in the house of Sophia and Dorothy. Which one? I mean, there's only one bedroom in this house. Did they share a bed? Seriously? Maybe Sophia was the only one living here. A pendant of Mother Mary. And another diary, of course it is. Scott was released from prison this morning. Matthew went to pick him up. There's tension here in Painscreek. Most people think of Scott as a murderer. Charles tried to stop Trisha from seeing Scott, but it's no use. She's already waiting for him at the cabin. Charles is drinking again. He couldn't stop Trisha from trying to see Scott. Yet Scott seemed to be avoiding her. Trisha should not have been discharged from the hospital. She still needs help and rehabilitation. Derek and Scott fought at the market today. They used to be such good friends. Derek asked Scott why he's avoiding Trisha. Scott didn't say anything. He just walked away. Derek told him not to come back anymore. It's sad to see what's happening to them now. Oh my God, Scott was killed? Trisha's been going crazy ever since Scott died. She would sometimes scream in the middle of the night. Other times, she would be asking why Scott hasn't visited her for a while. No one seemed to know how to answer her without agitating her condition. Trisha is finally being admitted to the hospital for mental breakdown. Charles did not know what to do. I've asked for his permission to take care of Trisha at the hospital until she recovers. Daughter of ex-mayor found dead at Painscreek Community Hospital. Trisha Roberts falls 40 feet from rooftop, lands on head and dies. Wow. Wow. So there really was someone who died there. It wasn't a prank. Just silly when they draw the outline of a dead body, because police don't do that. Yesterday morning, the body of Trisha Roberts was found on the grounds of Painscreek Community Hospital. She was pronounced dead at 7:20 a.m. According to Miss Thompson, she was starting her morning shift when she heard some sound near the reception area. She went out to find Trisha lying motionless. Blood was flowing out from her head. She quickly called for Dr. Bennett, the attending physician for the day's morning shift, who brought Trisha to the emergency room at once. Unfortunately, it was too late. The hospital CCTV shows that Trisha Roberts was walking around the hospital at around 6:30 a.m. She headed for the roof at 6:54 a.m. A few minutes later, her body was found on the ground, 3 floors below. Charles Roberts, ex-mayor and father... Hang on. I get that she could have killed herself by letting herself fall, but why would the railing be broken? I mean, A, it was broken to begin with, or B, she broke it in the fall. That makes no sense, because if you let yourself fall, your feet are not gonna crush the fence. It's just not gonna do that because of gravity. Your feet are gonna go up when you let your body fall over. The feet will go up in the air. Okay, so I'm in Oliver's house, the photographer, just checking out if there's anything interesting around here somewhere. He was mentioned in both Trisha and Vivian's diary, so I'm guessing he's got something to do with everything. Dear Mr. Oliver Gibson, we regret to hear that Father Matthew will not be joining the annual religious gathering event from July 18th till 23rd. We received Father Matthew's memo yesterday stating that he was not feeling well. We wish him a swift recovery so he may serve the people of Painscreek soon. Sincerely, Todd McDermott. Alright, that was it. I guess it's important since, the game decided to save. But that's it. There's nothing... Oh, hello. Hang on. Oh, that one is gonna come in handy, I'm sure. And... okay. Oh yeah, I know where to use that. The time capsule. So, I sort of feel like I'm just cleaning up every place I've been to because I've got all these keys. We've been through everything here. Oh yeah, the other side, the room on the other side. Let's see what's in here. A diary, I can see that. And I saw a gun above his bed. Yeah, he was a hunter, wasn't he? Just gonna... Wait a second. Hang on. Oh. What? He is not happy with her. Why? Why, Bernard? Weren't you so in love with her? Let's see what happened. I drove Vivian today since Derek is out of town with Charles. On the way, she expressed to me how despite having a successful business, she felt empty. Trisha hates Vivian for trying to stop her from seeing Scott. She seemed to be really bothered by the name Vincent, and her relationship with Charles seemed to be just for show. I wish I could comfort her during her troubled times. If only I could confess to Vivian how much I respect and admiration I have for her. Much I respect her and the admiration I have for her. Ever since Trisha brought up the topic on Vincent, Vivian has been pretty quiet. I can't remember the last time Vivian looked happy. Even during dinner, she hardly spoke. I don't think anyone can blame her. Wanda hasn't been coming to work for a while now. Her illness is getting worse. I wonder how she's coping. Derek wasn't available to drive Vivian, so I offered my assistance again. It's been a month since I first drove for her. She's opening up more and more to me, telling me the struggles she faced, her rocky relationship with Charles, and how she really disliked Scott. Really? She's telling this to her chauffeur? Butler? Well, sometimes I would give her some suggestions when she asked what she should do. Other times, she just wants someone to listen to her. Most of the time, I'm happy to be with her. Vivian seemed rather distraught recently. During the afternoon tea gathering, I stood outside the room and listened through the door gap. She feels miserable being with Charles. They hardly look at each other, let alone speak. Personally, I don't think Charles deserves her. I finished reading Vivian's autobiography. Half the facts were incorrect. The writer should have done his homework better. No one knows her like you do, right? So where did it go wrong? Whenever I drove for Vivian, she would ask me to drop her off at the corner of the street in front of Tom's Cafe, then told me she would go back by herself. It aroused my curiosity. So, after dropping her off, I parked the car and watched her. She ordered a cup of coffee to go. She then left the cafe and walked up the street for about 5 minutes to a residential area. She stopped in front of an apartment and pressed the doorbell. Shortly after, a man in his early 30s wearing a suit opened the door. He leaned over and hugged Vivian. She then gave the coffee to him and exchanged some words. I couldn't hear what they said. They then entered the building. Who is he? Oh, hang on. This is a man in his early 30s, wearing a suit. That's probably the guy who's helping her with the art gallery. Yeah, I would think so. This is the 6th time I'm following Vivian. After she went into the building with the guy, I parked the car nearby to wait for her to come out. Is this considered stalking? Yes, it is considered stalking, and very unprofessional, may I add. About 2 hours later, a cab stopped in front of the apartment building. Shortly after, Vivian came out of the apartment building. The guy came out with her. They chatted for a bit. Vivian looked extremely comfortable with him. Before leaving, she kissed him on the cheek. What's going on? Wait a second. I mean, seriously, if this was an affair, she wouldn't have touched him outside. She just wouldn't. And we already know that she saw this guy for the art. project, and she was talking about him being so self-assured for his age. So she's probably talking about the guy in his 30s. I tracked down the guy. He works at a bank. The place they meet is his apartment. How could she do that? Who the hell is he? Wait, are you telling me you're not allowed to go to someone's apartment? You can't have friends. I reported sick for the third consecutive day. As I lay in bed staring at the ceiling, I kept thinking, why would Vivian be seeing another man? No matter what Charles did to her, she's kept her faith in him throughout the years. How could she be having an affair now? She's better than that. She's supposed to choose me. Yeah, that's exactly his problem, isn't it? It's not that she's cheating, it's that she's cheating with the wrong guy. Yeah. Interesting. So, is he getting a little tiny bit obsessed with her? The fact that he thinks that she's laying in someone else's arms and not his. But from the last sentence, she's supposed to choose me, to crossing out her face on a photograph. Something happened. What is it? Did he think more about that and then decided to, screw you, Vivian, you're not worth it? Just doesn't feel right. It feels like we're supposed to think that Bernard could have killed Vivian just because he feels unhappy. The hospital gave me these pills. They're supposed to help fight depression. I feel a slight dizziness. It might be the food that I ate this morning. The dizziness comes and goes. I'm still able to work. Not a big problem. It's my day off today. So he's just talking about the medication he's getting, and it doesn't even say when it is. Just that it's day 8 and then day 20. The pills, they don't seem to work anymore. It doesn't matter if I take them or not. I can't stop imagining what Vivian and that guy are doing whenever they meet. That's not healthy. Spent a month thinking about Vivian having sex with another man. That's not Charles. He knew about their relationship long before he got interested in her, so that's fine. That's how it is. Okay, let's see what this suitcase reveals. Autopsy report. That is about freaking time. So we've got the autopsy report for Andrew Reed. Again, this silly thing. He's autopsied in June, but he was buried in March. Yeah, 44-year-old white male with burns found at home. Pronounced dead at the scene. 3rd-degree burns found across his body, completely charred over the head, face, neck and hands, heavily charred across the front and back of the body, legs and feet. That sounds like someone's that's already dead, right? Closer inspection reveals punctured lungs with an object similar to a switchblade or small knife. Pneumothorax is a possible cause of death, but the body is too burnt to be determined. Wait a second. So he was killed and then someone tried to hide that he was stabbed to death? But what about that whole occult thing going on in his apartment, in his bedroom? Was that just to throw us off? Or was that Andrew trying to somehow get rid of Sophia? He was seeing Sophia everywhere, so did he try to do this ritual to get rid of her. But then again, that doesn't really explain the writing on the wall. And no, I'm not talking about the thing that I thought I saw, but it says for us. Who did that? That doesn't make sense to me, but okay, fine. And here's Henry Johnson. This is done July 14th. Yeah, that seemed to make sense. 61-year-old white male pulls out of car submerged in lake. Victim's lungs do not contain water, which shows that he did not die by drowning. Due to the prolonged submerge of the body in the water, the estimated time of death might not be accurate. Estimated time of death is between 12 to 16 days. Yeah, and we know that because 16 days ago he was alive. Top right side of the skull, leaning toward the front and above the right eye, has a wide crack, usually caused by a sharp object and strong force. Front torso, face and back portion of forearms suffer numerous lacerations. Victim most probably died from blood loss before placed in water. Died from blood loss or... Wait a second. He's got a wide crack in his skull. Oh well, fine. So he didn't die from that first blow. Someone killed him over in rage. If you use an axe on someone, I would certainly think that's done in rage. Finally, Vivian Roberts' autopsy. I've been looking for it for, 12 episodes? A 55-year-old white female found lying in front of mansion gates. In front of the gates, even? Oh, really? Pronounced dead at the scene. 12 centimeter wide and 7 centimeter deep crack found on the right side of the head. Impact caused by strong force with a sharp object. Lacerations on the front torso and backside of both forearms. Victim died from loss of blood. Hang on. It's almost exactly the same kind of wounds that Dr. Johnson suffered. So I am inclined to believe that this is definitely the same murder, the same murderer. And left-handed one, they are attacked from the front, and you would try and you would lift your arms, right? It's a reflex. You would, I mean, you can't stop an axe, but you would do it, right? So you swing an axe as a left-handed, you would hit the right side of a person's head that's facing you. So someone left-handed, we've got a couple of people, I think, but I'm definitely going with Bernard did not do this. He didn't. Oh, yeah, well, we already did this. So, we are smarter than you are. 7741. Oh, is that for, yeah, we've got this. So, back to the sheriff's office, I take it. But that's gonna be next time. Take care, and thanks for watching. Bye.